Dr. Crank here at Waco Animal Hospital, and today we're going to be talking about what should you feed your puppy.
All right, Dr. Crank, how long does it take to wean a puppy from their mother?
So that's really variable as far as some breeder preferences go, but most of the time it's going to take about 2 weeks or so for the puppy to completely stop nursing on mom and be solely on puppy food. They may be having to supplement things, but usually around between 4 to 8 weeks they are getting weaned.
So at what age does a puppy no longer need to be bottle fed?
So really, they can be on puppy food as early as 4 weeks old. They're going to benefit most from their mother's milk, which has the overall support that they need for those first several weeks to allow them to get proper immunity and to have great bone strength and things building as well. And so usually by about the time they're 4 weeks old, they don't really need to be on puppy milk anymore, or at least not as their sole diet.
Can I give my puppy regular milk?
No. So cow milk and dog milk are not the same thing. And so if you are going to be giving your puppy milk, if you got it whenever it was really young or something along those lines and it still needs that, make sure that you're getting a puppy milk replacer, which is available at a lot of different hardware stores, pet supply stores, Walmart, things like that. You don't want to be feeding cow milk. That usually will cause them to have an upset belly, and it's not going to be near as nutritionally supportive.
So what kind of food should I feed my puppy?
So that is something that once they are able to get onto puppy food, there's a lot of different varieties out there, and so you do want to stick with something that, one, your vet has overall recommended and that you're comfortable with. It is something that large breed, small breed, there's a lot of different types of products out there. And so some of these guys that are going to be a larger breed adult are going to need to be on a large breed puppy food versus the ones that are going to be small breed are going to need to be on just generally a small breed or a regular type that have the smaller kibbles. And so certainly check with your vet. I'm a big Purina fan, so I do like the Purina Pro Plan variety. This guy is on a Purina Pro Plan large breed puppy food. As you can see, he's large. So he certainly needed that for his overall bone health. But it's certainly something that you want to talk to your vet for and make sure that you're feeding them the right thing, because puppy food is where they start out, and it's going to be something that overall affects their life.
So do puppies need to drink water?
They do, and some puppies don't really know they do. One, if they get weaned a little too early or if they've just recently been weaned, they may not realize that they actually need to take the time to drink and understand what drinking is. So you may have to work with them of introducing them to the water bowl, kind of putting some on their face and having them realize what they need to do with it. Other times, puppies are just a little too busy and a little too preoccupied with playing to really take time to drink. So make sure that your puppy is adequately drinking water.
All right, so how often do puppies need to eat?
It's a little bit variable depending upon how big your puppy is. For the really little tiny ones, usually less than 5 pounds or so, they need to be eating at least about 4 times a day. And this is for puppies that are a little bit older, as far as 6 weeks or so once they're weaned. And so generally about 4 times a day is a pretty good rule of thumb. But for most dogs, 3 times a day is usually what we're going to be starting out with as far as whenever they're pretty young puppies.
My last question is, how do I know that my puppy is getting enough to eat?
So puppies are overall ones that some of them seem like they want to eat and eat and eat, and they'll have a nice little chunky belly going on. Others, they're a little kind of same thing with water. They're a little preoccupied to actually sit down and take the time to eat. And so you can actually look on your bag of food and look at the side panel or the back, and it'll have a chart on there that recommends a daily amount that your puppy should be feeding based upon the adult weight or how much they currently weigh. That's a pretty good rule of thumb as far as a guideline. And then you kind of just want to be watching as far as your puppy, whether it's being too chunky or if you can kind of count its ribs, and that'll overall allow you to kind of set that a little more.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.